Hello and welcome to another Free History Online video. Today we are looking at Kenilworth Castle and the important site question. We will be doing a revision quiz on the key facts. You can watch the presentation that is also available in the Free History site, and we'll be going over an exam question. This could be interactive, where you pause and get involved in the question, or simply watch me go over a question and then obviously use that to help you revise the topic for your tests. So join us today for this lesson. So firstly, let's have a little recap of the Kenilworth Castle history so that we can then test our understanding and answer the exam question successfully. So away we go. I hope that was useful for you. Now let's quiz your understanding. How well did you understand things? So here is the revision quiz. So pause it and see if you can answer these questions. The next slide will give you the answers. So pause it now. Okay, so here are the answers. So mark your quiz, and obviously anything you didn't quite get correct for your revision, make sure you know them. These are all pretty key questions, particularly all the things around Dudley are really important to know. Okay, so let's move on to some exam skills. So the question you'll get could be something like this. It's a statement and then it asks you how much Kenilworth Castle supports that view. This is the typical type of site question for the AQA exam. So have a look. What are the key words and phrases in that question that tell you what you need to be doing to answer the question successfully? Have a little think. Pause it if you like and write down the question and highlight the ideas yourself. Okay, so the first important statements are important for fashion. So the factor of Elizabethan times was that homes were built for fashion. And then the other important part is how far. So an amount. How far does Kenilworth support this? So it's partly, mostly, it's an amount of support. And obviously, as we talked about Kenilworth Castle supporting this view, we've got to talk about Kenilworth Castle. So that means you've got a success criteria of these key things. Explain how Elizabethan homes were fashionable and how Kenilworth Castle supports this. Those are the first 2 bullet points. How far suggests you need other factors that led to the building of houses, and particularly Kenilworth Castle. So you need to compare fashion to other factors. Therefore, you need to evaluate how much Kenilworth Castle supports, reasons why homes were built and updated, how much it supports fashion, okay? And then you need to talk about 2 other factors of reasons why. So it could be wealth, political status, or famously the Kenilworth Castle view of trying to marry Elizabeth. Explain in your appeal paragraphs, and you need to clearly conclude your answer. So your appeal paragraph will look a little bit like this. Okay, you'll make a point of argument, you'll give your evidence, you'll explain why Kenilworth supports that idea, and you might evaluate however Kenilworth doesn't support it, or furthermore, Kenilworth does support it. Okay, so let's have a little practice of writing this. Okay, any stage you need to spend more time reading the slides, just pause and have a look. So now you've got a little task of writing your opening statement. Okay, so if you want to make this interactive, just pause and write an opening part to your paragraph. Okay, so Kenilworth Castle partly or mostly supports the view that homes are built for fashion because. So that repeat the question back, introduce your reason why. So if you're writing to yourself, pause and give that a go. Write your opening argument. So a good answer might be something like this, okay? Now you don't have to change yours, just keep your argument going, but the key thing is you've given a reason. So you said because, okay? So Kenilworth Castle was fashionable because it was updated with classical features that were fashionable at the time, okay? So we need to support that with some evidence. So now think about some classical features of Tudor homes. Talk about fashion in general. How do Tudor homes show fashion? Maybe refer to another home, maybe you know about Hardwick Hall and you could refer to another place. Okay, so think about examples of fashion in Tudor homes. What did they look like? How were they fashionable? Give some evidence now. Pause and give it a go. Okay, so I've given an example here. So for example, the Tudors were inspired by classical features and Italian designs in their homes. This led Bess of Hardwick to build Hardwick Hall with symmetry and arcade of columns called loggias to ensure it was the height of fashion. Okay, so you could talk about Tudor homes in general. Now that means the next bit you've got to explain how Kenilworth Castle might have had this type of fashion as well, and was it built for fashion? So explain why Kenilworth Castle shows it's built for fashion. So therefore Kenilworth supports this view. The homes are built for fashion as it has this and it has this. So try and support how Kenilworth Castle was built for fashion. This could be features, but also reasons why it was built in a fashionable way. Okay, maybe you know architects and designers and how they were fashionable. Okay, pause and give it a go. Okay, so here is an example of that. So therefore, Kenilworth supports the view that homes are built for fashion, as Dudley, a key noble and favourite of Elizabeth, had to update it to be highly modern Renaissance garden with Italian inspiration from the gardens of Tivoli. You've got this showcased the classical Italian features similar to those at Hardwick. Furthermore, he included exotic birds in an aviary to show his global culture. This was the height of fashion at the time as it showed the exploration of the Golden Age. So I'm linking to 2 factors there, the Italian Renaissance, that's fashionable, and then also the exploration of Drake and others that highlight the Golden Age of the time period. So those are highly fashionable, like people having exotic fruit on their table, that sort of thing, highly fashionable things. Okay, then so finally, it's a wider link to evaluate. So either you think this is really important and you want to say furthermore fashion is important in a bit more detail, or you want to say however it wasn't entirely built for fashion. Now I'd say however is the better answer here because Kenilworth not really built for fashion. It still remains quite a medieval castle in many respects. It had to be updated and it couldn't be built ever as an original fashion statement like Hardwick Hall knocked down and rebuilt. So obviously it was built and redesigned mainly for Elizabeth, wasn't it? So you've got that idea that you could talk about. So give it a go now. Try and finish your paragraph. Pause and give it a go. So the final bit could be, however, Kenilworth Castle was not entirely updated due to fashion. It was also to be modernised to impress Elizabeth, who had complained about it being in poor condition during her visit in 1570. Therefore, it does not have the fashionable chimneys, modern brickwork, and large amounts of windows like Hardwick Hall. So that might give you a nice overall idea. So there's one paragraph. You need to do 3. So you could practice yourself writing appeal paragraphs for other ones. So the marriage proposal to Elizabeth obviously is a key paragraph, and Dudley showing his power and status as he'd been raised up to the council and as a key noble. There we are. I hope that was useful and helped you with your understanding of Kenilworth Castle. So I'll be uploading more practice questions and more quizzes and more revision videos. So do look out for them. Okay, bye-bye for now.